The need for media practitioners to keep a tab on compliance and administration of the Criminal Justice Act by key players in the country has been stressed at a program by Cleen Foundation with support from the MacArthur Foundation. With participants drawn from various media houses in Lagos, speakers at the event say the Criminal Justice Act has not been fully adhered to. Some of the challenges identified include limited awareness, treatment of suspects, bail conditions, and others. We have joining us on the news this hour, Salaudeen Hashim, who's the program director, Cleen Foundation. Let's begin with the outcome of your research and your findings in this regard. Mr. Hashim, if you can hear me, talk to us about the outcome of your research.
Okay, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
And your findings in this regard.
Okay, thank you very much. The Administration of Criminal Justice was actually set up to reduce vulnerability within the justice sector. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of administrative bottlenecks in the response to its implementation. And what we have done very clearly is to put out there some of the recent findings regarding the entire stakeholders within the value chain. If you look at section 2 to 7 of the ACJA, it actually provides ensuring law enforcement agents, particularly the police, to respect fundamental human rights of Nigerians. Between then and now, you'll recall that we have had the NSAS. We have also had a number of incidences regarding consistent violations. And this is also not because the police has not been responding or managing to bridge the gap. But again, there are also other actors within the value chain that are also not providing the sort of complementarity that is also required. So we also think that the issue of interrogation, the issue that borders around arrest, the issue that borders around detention, and all of the entire indicators that suggest compliance also requires some additional response. If you look at section 111 of this particular act, it talks about the depopulation of prisons and other detention centers. And again, this is also one of the albatross that we currently still have. The custodial facilities are still congested. As a matter of fact, there are other inmates within these facilities who are also not properly documented. And we think this is also an issue that we need to pay attention to. In Kano, for instance, there are a lot of inmates who have served between 7 to 15 years who don't even have a specific file in terms of processing them. They are taken to court, but they are not oftentimes presented to the court. And this is also not in variance to the provisions of this particular act. And again, if you look at section 16 of the act, it talks about law enforcement should make easier the issue of records and documenting the entire offenders that are also taken into custody. We think, again, there is a little bit of a challenge in terms of complying to this. The entire digital conversation within the court system is only working in selective. Borno, for instance, is having a very interesting signpost around digitalizing the entire system.
I hear you clearly, Mr. Hashim. Because of time, allow me to jump in. Have you been able to identify the stakeholders or agencies of government that have the responsibility to implement compliance to this act?
Law enforcement agents, generally the EFCC, ICPC, police, custodial officer, judicial stakeholders, all of these stakeholders are within the value chain, and they have responsibility to manage, respond, and mitigate where necessary that compliance are not working. But we can guarantee you that they have generally not met required benchmark, but I think the police seemingly has made some progress because some of our data actually suggests so.
Salaudeen Hashim is Program Director, Cleen Foundation. Thank you for talking to us. Still ahead on TVC News at 1. Nigeria